From dominating the light heavyweight division for a decade to becoming the UFC heavyweight champion, Jon Jones has done it all. But what's next for the GOAT? Where does he go from here? Well, according to reports, a fight against Stipe Miocic is on the cards.
No nerves, man. I'm cool, calm, just like I always sound.
Now this one's becoming a possibility day after day. Jones made it look so easy against Ciryl Gane, like the dude didn't even break a sweat. So now it's for him to defend his championship. And Miocic is the only heavyweight fighter who deserves a title shot more than anyone. Everything points to him being Jones' next opponent. Like even the UFC's dropped some hints. So it's probably going to happen. But there's one problem with Miocic. See, he isn't in his prime anymore. Stipe lost his last fight against Francis Ngannou, and he must be running a little short of confidence. But still, he is one of, if not the best, to do it in the heavyweight division. He's been doing it for a long time now. I mean, he's the two-time UFC heavyweight champion, so to think that he won't be able to provide any competition is wrong. For fighters like Miocic, age is just a number. And I think that he can really challenge Jones inside the octagon. But what if, for some reason, this fight doesn't happen? Then the winner of Sergey Pavlovich and Curtis Blaydes should face Bones. This is the only other possibility if Miocic versus Jones doesn't happen. Pavlovich and Blaydes square off on April 22nd, 2023. And whoever wins that fight will surely deserve a title shot. If you ask me, it'll be an exciting matchup either way. But the thing is, the chances of Miocic versus Jones not happening are very low. Like, Dana White said it himself, that they were gonna make it happen.
I think that Jon Jones will be the next fight at heavyweight.
I don't know when, but Jones is definitely fighting Stipe. This is what Dana White said when he was asked about Jones' future. He said that Jones wants the fight against Stipe and will make it possible. This only clears it even more that Miocic is the guy who will face Jones. Now that we know the fight is happening, but when? Well, there's no concrete date or time for that fight. Dana White has announced that it's gonna happen in July, but he hasn't given any date yet, while Miocic, on the other hand, is out there telling everybody that a date has already been confirmed. He said the fight's scheduled for the 8th of July, on Saturday at UFC 290. Now, I'm not really sure who to believe in this case. Dana White's the main man, and until he confirms anything, I won't trust anyone else. Miocic was actually the first person to show an interest in the dream matchup. Stipe revealed earlier this week that he received a call and already has the offer to fight the winner of Jones versus Gane. And while everyone was expressing their wishes out in the open, how could Jon Jones stay quiet? Bones also revealed that he wants Miocic next. During his post-fight interview with Joe Rogan at UFC 285, Jones called Miocic out.
Prepared for Stipe Miocic. We actually did a full training camp.
Miocic was present at the venue. He was sitting ringside in the audience to watch Jones fight, and he called him out. Jones asked the crowd, "You want me to beat Stipe?" Obviously, the crowd gave him a huge cheer as a yes. He even asked Miocic to start training because he wants him real bad. And when Bones was saying all this, Miocic had this look on his face which said that he was ready. He's ready to take on Jon Jones and become a three-time heavyweight champion. Miocic didn't stay quiet either. He had an interview backstage with UFC broadcaster Megan Olivi. And that's when Miocic really told us how he feels about this matchup. He said that it's good for Jones that he has won, but nothing has changed, and he'll see him in July. Whoa! Miocic said that he's gonna train harder and beat him in July. He looks ready, y'all. In fact, both fighters look ready, and this one could be one of the biggest fights we've seen in a long time. It's gonna be the UFC heavyweight GOAT versus the UFC light heavyweight GOAT, and arguably the GOAT of the whole MMA. Even though the fight's in July, Jones still knows how he's gonna win this one, and he says he'll finish Stipe Miocic. Bones was all suited up for this interview after his famous championship championship win. He was asked about his wish to face Miocic and if he can actually beat him. Jones told a very interesting story. He told in his 3 years away from the octagon, he trained very hard. Even when he didn't know who he's gonna face, he still trained hard. And he studied many fighters with his team while training, and one of those was Miocic. Jones has prepared notes and strategies to beat him, and he says that he'll just have to visit those notes one more time, revise some of his strategies if he learns anything new about Miocic, cause now that his only focus is Miocic, he has a lot of time to do so. And once he does all that, he says he's gonna finish him. He's still not sure about in what round it'll happen, but he's sure about one thing, and which is that he's gonna finish him. The fight won't go down to the wire. Plus, John also said that he's absolutely sure that he's gonna defeat Stipe. He wasn't even that confident while facing Gane. Like, for sure, he was confident he's gonna win, but no one saw any optimism of this sort from Jones before. One thing is for sure now, he's here in the heavyweight division. He's the heavyweight champion, and he's ready to beat anyone that comes his way. And yeah, Jones has nothing left to prove to the world. He is already the greatest of all time, but he still wants to do it. He still wants to stretch his legacy a little bit further. That's what champions do. He announced his next fight right after becoming the champion. Jon Jones isn't one of those fighters who became a champion and then sit back and relax. Even at this point in his career, he's ready to give it his all, and that's why he is the greatest of all time. But is he the favorite to win this fight? I think yes. Now, if this bout happened a few years ago when Miocic was in his prime, then it would have been tough to predict a winner in this one. But considering Miocic's recent form, it will be tough for him to beat Jones. Yes, Miocic is the greatest heavyweight fighter in the UFC, but Jones isn't easy either. He's been training for almost 3 years for his return to the octagon, and now that he's finally back, he isn't gonna go down that easily. And it's not only me. The whole world thinks that Jones will beat Miocic. The betting odds for the fight were recently released, and they aren't actually surprising. Jones is a -350 favorite. In easy words, what this means is that he has a 77.8% chance to win that fight. That's a big margin, and Miocic only has a 26% chance of upsetting and shocking the whole world. But we can't completely rule Miocic out. Anything could happen on fight night. Who knows? Maybe Miocic can become the heavyweight champion for the 3rd time. For now, let's just be happy that we're gonna see two greats fight each other. That's all for what's next for Jon Jones.